Mrs. Anders.
Thank you. I've been working closely with Kevin McCormick and quite a few parents, and I'm asking the school board for a workshop on the IEP process within our district, as well as not just that process, but how we're working with our ESE kids, our schools, talking about delays and denials of certain processes for our ESE students, allocations, school allocations, what's needed. I just don't remember having a workshop with some of the concerns I've been hearing from parents, from advocates recently about ESE. Kevin's working hard, Mr. McCormick, as well as the schools, but I think as a board member, I would like to get more information about all of these processes and how we can actually do a better job to make sure that we get the services necessary for these students.
Mrs. Brill?
Thank you, and I think that's a great idea, but I think I'd rephrase it a little. The agenda item said IEP workshop, and that worried me because the IEP is driven by federal law, and it's something that we as school board members are not able to put our hands into. But I did speak to Mr. McCormick, and I told him that I really would like to see us have a workshop on special ed law, and then how it fits in with our upcoming SPMP, that's the special policies and procedures, the laws that govern us, and then how that fits into the IEP process, because we do need to have an understanding, but we also have to be careful that we don't overstep our roles and responsibilities. And there's no stronger advocate for ESE than me on this board. That because of my own experiences. So I would just ask that they bring back the SPMP and a legal piece for us so that we can have a clear understanding.
I want to reinforce what Mrs. Brill said, because that wasn't my concern when I saw this being an IEP discussion, and that's most of that out of our control. So if that's the pleasure of the board, we will schedule an ESE related workshop. All right, Dr. Robinson.
So thank you. This is a request that the board consider directing the superintendent to make sure that the opportunity to pre-register to vote is part of the 10th grade U.S. history course. And in addition to that, I would like to get, actually request that we make certain that as young people graduate, that the opportunity to register to vote is presented to them, like this year, and forevermore. And I know that we've talked about that, and at least in some locations we do it, but I think it's a good time for a status check and maybe let the principals know, and we can pull in community partners and as well as the supervisory elections to get that done. So it's two-part. The original part is to make pre-registering the vote part of the 10th grade U.S. history course. I think it's just a perfect fit.
All right, I think, and my understanding is I think we do it, and I know the League of Women Voters is pretty active in is registering and recruiting volunteers to do that, and I know Ms. Booker is always asking about expanding that, so I think you got a good point made there. Mrs. Brill.
Thank you, and I think the league is really focused on children that have reached the age to vote, so I think that's perfect because a lot of people don't know that you can pre-register, and I brought that up at various meetings that I've had in my community, and I think it's a fabulous idea, so thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Robinson?
And just to include the status check for registering to vote is the opportunity, maybe there's somebody who doesn't want to register, but the opportunity to register is part of your exiting process for graduation. And which would mean I would think that we need to pull in our community partners.
So is that a suggestion that as they walk across the stage, we hand them their voter registration?
No, that means before you get your cap and gown, you fill out this piece of paper. That's my view of it. So,
so principals take heed. So before they march, it'll be. Thank you very much. That concludes our agenda on our workshop. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mr. Barbieri. All in favor, all opposed. Motion carries 6-0. We now move to our special meeting.